feelings are caused by our met or unmet needs. What others do cannot cause my feelings. Only I am responsible for my emotional states. What others do can be the stimulus, but that's different than the cause. That is to say, what another person does can contribute to whether my needs are met or unmet, but it's ultimately the met or unmet needs that are causing my emotional states. So let's do an example to break this down. Something I find myself saying far too often for my liking is, "You make me so angry. All I'm trying to do is watch this TV program and get some peace and quiet." What I've said here is I've blamed another person for my anger. I'm saying, you are making me angry, and it is your responsibility to fix that or to stop doing that. But that's just not true, and it's ultimately really hard for the other person to hear that. So let's see what's really happening in this situation. What's really happening is that I have a need for rest, relaxation, and maybe fun. And I've chosen as my preferred strategy to get all three of those needs met is this particular TV program at this particular time in this particular location. And now the other person in the room has a need for connection, and they've decided that they would like to get that need met by talking to me at this particular time in this particular location. And ultimately, I'm getting distracted from the TV program, and thus I'm not getting the rest, enjoyment, and relaxation out of this strategy that I was really hoping for. And so it is out of my lack of fun and enjoyment and relaxation and my hope for this preferred strategy to work that I really start to become angry. And so I can see how it's within myself. I have the locus of control over whether I'm feeling angry in this moment, since I could either choose to meet some other need in this situation. I could choose to not prioritize my need for fun and enjoyment, or I could choose a different strategy than this particular TV program to meet my needs. So there are a couple of reasons why we choose to avoid blaming others for our emotional states. The first is that it's just not true. Our feelings are caused by our unmet needs, and we have the power of choice. This is what we call radical responsibility. I am responsible for my emotional states, and I am responsible for my needs being met or unmet. If I'm waiting around for some person to come into my life that'll meet all my needs, or some time in the future where all my needs will get met, or I'll get to the other side of the fence, some other location where the grass is much greener and my needs will all be met, I'm probably going to be waiting for a long time. It is my responsibility to seek out strategies that will meet my needs. And it is my choice whether I will pursue one need or a different need, whether one met or unmet need will be my primary focus, or whether my primary focus will be on my met needs. And I have a choice in whether I hold on to my chosen strategies really tightly, that is to say, that I'm really hung up on this particular strategy working, or I can choose to be more flexible and open to other strategies that might meet my needs. And so ultimately I have choice. I have a choice in the matter of how I'm feeling in any given moment. And I actually lose that power of choice when I blame another person. When I say, you are the cause of my emotional states, you're making me angry, and it is your power that can alleviate me from that anger, then I'm giving up my power of alleviating and liberating myself. So when we avoid blaming other people, we begin to reclaim our own power of choice to choose how we're going to feel in a given situation. And the second reason we avoid blaming other people is that blaming others is really hard for people to hear. Remember that the goal of nonviolent communication is to have empathetic and honest connection with one another. And one of the ways that we maintain honest and empathetic connection is by avoiding triggering the fight, flight, or freeze reaction in ourselves and in one another. And so when we blame others for our emotional states, that often triggers the fight, flight, or freeze reaction in them or in ourselves. So when I blame someone for making me feel angry, I'm putting them in a villain role. I'm creating an enemy image of them. They're now someone I have to contend with, that I have to fight with in order to reclaim my happiness or to squash my anger. And they need to either now defend themselves against me, or they need to relinquish whatever they're doing to serve my interests. In any situation, we're not having honest or empathetic connection. So, to wrap up, let's see if you can spot the blaming that's happening in these two examples. The first one. You are so rude to me. Can you spot it? You are so rude. I'm blaming the other person for being disrespectful. I'm claiming that what they're doing is inherently bad. It's inherently disrespectful. And that's likely to trigger a fight between me and my friend. Rather, what I can say is, wow, that statement really doesn't meet my needs for respect, and I'm really feeling quite sad about that. Notice I didn't say the word you in that entire sentence. The next example. That's really cold of you. Can you spot it? The word that is often a blaming word. It's a word that says what you're doing is inherently cold. It's inherently harsh. Rather than acknowledging the needs that it does serve for that person. And acknowledging that what I'm really feeling is the fact that my personal need for comfort, warmth, and care aren't met by that particular thing of whatever they said. Alright, I hope you found that helpful. Take care.